No, man. Yeah, man. So firstly, I just want to thank you for taking out this time to be on this call. And I've been on a massive journey just helping to encourage rugby players, especially to have end in mind as well when it comes to rugby, when the career finishes. And I mean, anything can happen, an injury can pop up, or something drastically can change. So it's very important to make sure that you on the right path with things. And yeah, man, I've been really blessed when it comes to these interviews. Interviews guys like Cody Malfi, one of the USA Sevens players.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're familiar with him as well.
Yeah.
And North Kosan. And yeah, man, it's been really great with the support and everything like that. But yeah, before I carry on, I just want to find out a little bit more about you. First time getting to meet you as well. Who are you? Where do you come from? Why do you love rugby, not American football? I'm sure with those kind of shoulders, you don't need those pads. So it's a good, good thing, brother. You could go ahead, man.
So originally I'm from Virginia. I was like raised in Texas or whatever. And growing up, all I really knew was American football, you know. Here I am like 7 years old, 8 years old, you know, and I'm still playing football, which is like normal. But then I moved to Virginia, where I'm originally from, and my aunt's like, hey, like, you know, you have a lot of energy, let's get you into football. I'm just like, you know what, cool, whatever. It's going to be like my second organized team or whatever. I get there to my first practice after I sign up, and we're playing like touch or whatever, and my head coach was South African.
Okay.
So he's South African, and he's just like, hey, man, like, you know, everyone out here that you see, we all play rugby as well. You know, we have football during the fall, but we also play rugbies on, like, Sundays when, you know, when football is done. We have tournaments. So he's just like, you know what, like, I think you should come give it a try. And I was just like, I don't think that's for me, you know, because I don't know anything about it. And he's just like, it's fine, like, you'll be okay, like, just, and I was like, no, I'm good. Like, I came out for football, not rugby. So then he threatens me with if you don't come back out and try rugby, I'm not going to let you play football for me. So I was kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, and I kind of just gave in, and I was just like, you know what, like, I guess I will, you know, try it out. So tried it out, and I fell in love with it. Like from the first phase, from the first rock, I fell in love with it, you know. And then just having the time spent with a lot of the guys that were on the team, getting to build that, you know, that bond, because it took me forever to realize that, like, as you're playing rugby, it's not just about the game. It's bigger than the game. It's about sportsmanship. It's about brotherhood, you know. And from there on, it's just been rugby, you know.
No, awesome, man. And yeah, so when you put on your rugby boots for the first time and you started playing it, I was okay, it's much better than NFL. What kind of goals did you set yourself up? Like, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, running around with the Perry Bakers and the Cardinals and those kind of guys? I think it's big boots to fill, but I think it's also awesome opportunity, and I think a great thing to be able to learn from those caliber of players, and to have the access to learn from them as well.
Absolutely.
Not only a playing perspective, but in a life perspective as well, to learn from their mistakes, what they have done, and that kind of thing. So where do you see yourself in the future when it comes to USA Sevens?
Oh, man. Well, first I want to give a shout out to Mike Friday and Cody and Perry and Colin, mainly because when I'm down there at camp, they show me like a lot of attention when I do stuff wrong and making sure that I get it right. But hopefully in the next 5 years, I will see myself playing next to Cody Melfi with the Eagles. Hopefully, that's pretty much my plan and my goals. But then after rugby, I am a criminal justice major for college. So, and I want to work with kids, and I also want to coach. So anywhere between the two. But I mean, but in the next 5 years, I see myself, you know, being a dog playing with the USA Eagles.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. And growing up in school, like being from South Africa as well, and I must say, let's say,
I lost you. I lost you a little bit. Hold on 1 second. It went out. I can't hear you at the moment. It went out. Hold on 1 second. Doing it. Hold on.
A lot of times we see the first countries and we just see the success, but I also know there's areas that struggle as well. People who also don't have meals and don't have things to eat or opportunities that come their way. And yourself as a rugby player, being surrounded with other rugby players as well, what kind of challenges do they face? Is it the exact same thing? Is it the mindset shift that people need to do? What would your intake be on that?
Well, here at Kutztown, we're all a family. So with that being said, it comes down to, like, if you need something, you know that you have a big brother, like, on the team, and you have everyone. You know, we're all in the group chat, whether someone needs a place to stay, whether someone needs some food or whatever. There's over 10 rugby houses that we have here. So we make sure that there is no reason for a teammate or a brother of ours to go without. I mean, but normally when we see someone struggling or whatever, we make sure, whether they're rugby or not, we make sure as a team we do our best to help the next person, because like we said, rugby is just a game. It goes deeper than rugby.
No, definitely, man. And I think it's very important as well, because we live in a world where it's kind of like a selfish kind of thing. It's like, if I don't get the success, I don't want to allow other people to achieve success. And I think something that I learned from rugby as well is, if your teammates win, you win as well. It's all about being in the same team, getting the right people together and just to stick together. I mean, same with this lockdown thing. I think a lot of people are going to be challenged as well, because they've been around with the wrong people and they've found their securities in materialism. And now that's kind of stripped away. You can't go anywhere. You can't go on the fancy trips, or you're kind of stuck at home. And I think mental challenge-wise, that's a big thing that people face. And what do you do on your side, especially when in lockdown? You guys are in lockdown now as well, right?
Yeah, like we're allowed out, but we have a curfew, you know. So, like,
okay. And but what keeps your faith basically going? Like, because now that you can't play rugby in this specific time, but what keeps you motivated? Where are you putting your focus on now currently, and just making sure that you don't get stuck in a rut?
Well, mainly a lot of my energy goes towards my online classes. Like, we have online classes now, so I try and keep up with that, mainly because I am a senior. I graduate next fall, so that's where a lot of my energy goes towards. But it also goes towards, like, reaching out to a lot of, like, my teammates that are still in town sometimes, seeing if they want to do anything, or, you know, because it's lockdown. With us being a rugby player, no one wants to be locked down now by themselves, you know. So just making sure everyone's spirits are good and well while trying to keep minds up as well.
No, that's great, man. And I think it's very quickly where a negative mindset can be planted in your mind. You're like, oh shucks.
It's super boring. It's really boring.
And then it's tough, and then you lose, like, damn, what I'm gonna do now? The world's gonna end. I need to go panic buying toilet paper and wipe down my tears.
Yep.
But yeah, man. So yeah, in your rugby career, what has been your biggest setback? Something that you might have felt, well, maybe rugby isn't for me. I should go back to football, or just leave sport completely, or just was the toughest challenge that you had. But how did you overcome it as well?
Well, I always kind of look at things that, like, it could always be worse. But growing up, my size was, like, a big issue. Like, just with sports in general, it's always been about my size, I guess. Like, when I went into high school, I was only, like, 5 feet tall, 5'2".